You're mad. I'm back.
And I'm back. Welcome to the weekend. I'm your boy, TheKempire. This is the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where we talk about some of the hottest topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and a few other areas. In today's video, I wanted to talk about Nicki Minaj and Little Mama's back in the news. I thought this transphobia story would have disappeared, but she is leaning in on her thoughts to the point where she's getting into a fight with JACKEE Harry. JACKEE Harry from 227, JACKEE Harry from Sister Sister, JACKEE Harry, a legend in our community. We'll talk about that in a second, but I want to talk about this Nicki Minaj story. You may recall I reported on my social media, last month, about Nicki Minaj's father being hit by a car in Long Island where he subsequently died. Let me just get this. I just want to pull up this picture, which is she. I don't know if Nicki Minaj has even said anything about this just yet. I haven't. Sometimes it's hard to talk about these things. So as I was saying, Nicki Minaj's father passed away last month. Well, now Nicki Minaj's mother, Carol Mirage, is suing the man that killed her husband. Let me just get this article up here. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Just want to wait for a couple more people to get into the chat. What's going on, y'all? How are you guys doing? Samora says, it's so BS. Like you in the entertainment business, you have to accept the good and the bad news. Like if you can't handle it, get a new career. Well. But before we get into the Little Mama story, I want to talk about this Nicki Minaj story. As I said to you before, we were talking just last month about her losing her father in this accident. Now her mother is suing the man for $150 million. Let's get into this. So according to People, Nicki Minaj's mother filed a lawsuit against Charles Polovich, who's 70 years old. He was charged with leaving a scene of an accident with a fatality and tampering with evidence. On Friday, Nicki's mother, Carol Mirage, filed this $150 million lawsuit in the state Supreme Court, Nassau County, according to Page 6. Let me see. In a statement posted on social media, her lawyer, Ben Crump, claimed that Polovich was not only irresponsible and negligent, but more concerned about running away and hiding than seeking help. Let me see what you got. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Robin. I see you guys. Hey, Sheila. I appreciate you guys being here. TikTok, head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. We're talking about some hot topics. Right now, we're talking about Nicki Minaj's father, Robert Mirage, who passed away at the age of 64 at the hands of Charles Polovich, who's 70 years old. He actually did not, he was arrested and then he was taken into custody. He was able to bail himself out with a $250,000 bond. Crazy to me. And a lot of people have been saying, why would Carol Mirage sue this man for $150 million? To me, that says that they have a full understanding that this man does have the means for that level of money, possibly. But also, people sue a lot of times so that there can be a further investigation to see what happened. They don't believe that this man had good intentions based on what her lawyer, Ben Crump, said in his statement. Let me just hold on. So this is what Ben said on his social. It's crazy to me that attorneys are on Instagram posting statements, but this is where we are in 2021, y'all. So Paul Napoli and I have filed a $150 million lawsuit in the hit and run death of Robert Mirage, Nicki Minaj's father. He was fatally injured in a hit and run accident on February 12, 2021. When he was struck by a car being driven by Charles Polovich as Mr. Mirage walked along a Long Island road. After striking Mirage, After striking Mirage, Polovich left the accident scene and did not call for emergency services or render aid to Mirage. He was not only irresponsible and negligent, but more concerned about running away and hiding than seeking help. Polovich's behavior was criminal, cowardly, and immoral. We will hold him responsible for his reckless actions that led to Robert Mirage's death. So we'll be following this story. This is pretty sad. And for those that are just joining us, we're talking about Nicki Minaj's father that passed away last month. His mother, her mother, filed a lawsuit of $150 million. People are wondering why she would file a lawsuit of that caliber. I'm assuming that the attorneys did their due diligence in regards to knowing what this man is actually worth. I've seen people comment saying that if you do your research, you will know that he does have millions. I'm not sure if it's in the upwards of 150 million, but a lot of times when people sue, they're suing so that they can investigate a situation a little bit further. Let me see. Okay. Do you guys want to get to this little mama story? If you're just tuning in, welcome to the KEMPIRE here on the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel. Head on over, my TikTok fam, head on over to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel where we're talking about this hot topic. If you want to call in and share your thoughts, I'm going to post a link in the chat so you guys can call in. Hold on one second, y'all. This is why you need a producer in the studio. So if you want to call in and share your thoughts on any of the hot topics that we're talking about, please feel free to do so. I've posted a link in the chat. I do want to talk about Little Mama. Unfortunately, I normally never want to talk about Little Mama because, I mean, unless it's something great that she's doing. And unfortunately, a lot of great things haven't been happening for Little Mama, unfortunately. Not sure why. Like, I really want to, but no, it's not happening. Okay. Look, okay. Little Mama's in the news. I reported on my social media that Little Mama was under criticism for some of the statements that she made recently on her social media in regards to people, to children transitioning. I'm going to share my opinions after I just lay out all the facts before we even get to that particular part of things. So she posted this on her Instagram story, and I'll show this as well so you guys can see it. She posted this on her Instagram story, and this was a repost from this person, Riza Islam, where he says, so children are too young to smoke cigarettes, too young to drink alcohol, too young to get a driver's license, too young to go to a club, too young to gamble, too young to rent a car, but are old enough to cut off their genitals and or change their gender. This is insanity. Well, Little Mama reposted this in her Instagram stories saying this: depopulation at any cost, cat fights, sword fights, used to be a cat, now I'm a dog, whatever to stop a new life reproduction. When I heard this, I was like, what, Little Mama? What are you saying, Little Mama? Not sure what I'm understanding here. Well, it didn't stop there. Let me just get this thing open. This week, now she wants to start a whole heterosexual pride movement, civil rights movement. Okay, this is another thing that she posted on her Instagram story. Well, we'll get to the whole, this is what she posted on her Instagram story. I'm about to start a heterosexual rights movement, anti-LGBT bullying. Y'all fight so hard to be respected. And this is what she's saying in her Instagram story. If you're just joining us, we're talking about Little Mama and some of the statements that she's been making in regards to children. And I'm going to be fair. This is what she's saying. She's saying that she's against children deciding to change their genitals. I will share my opinion after I lay out everything that's been said, including her beef with JACKEE Harry. Don't know how we got there. However, anyways, so she says this in this Instagram story: y'all fight so hard to be respected, and some of y'all, not all, get a kick out of bullying people for having an option. Not sure she meant opinion, but anyways. how they dress, how their hair and or makeup looks, how much money they have, etc. There are so many people afraid to give their honest see, I need y'all to proofread y'all stuff before y'all post it on social media. Can y'all do me that favor? Because it makes it so difficult for me to read it back. Because I'm like, what is she saying? I gotta okay, opinion, because if they do, the LGBTQ plus will hear what they want to hear and take statements out of context. I don't have to prove myself by reminding people that I have loved ones of the LGBTQ plus community. When I speak, I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just speaking my truth, just like you all. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I see Data in the chat, but Data, none of the things that you are saying, I'm going to repost and share. You have a right to your opinion. I'm going to bring up a caller. What's going on, Kyle?
Hey, man,
Kyle, sorry.
All right. Lil Mama has no place. She has no place in this thing at all. She has no place.
First of all, Kyle, where are you? I apologize. I'm distracted. Uh-oh, Kyle, you're frozen. Kyle, call back. Call back, Kyle. So it didn't stop there, though. She went on a rant, and then she went on another rant. And I'm not going to play all of the rants because I just feel like it's you guys come here for the news. You don't come here to hear Little Mama rant over and over again. So I'm going to play this video real quick for you guys so you can see a little bit of what she said in defense, because she got a lot of criticism when she was trying to defend her right, and now she's starting a whole heterosexual rights movement, she says. Sounds very similar to what those people were trying to do back, I forgot when it was, a couple years ago. During Pride Month, they wanted to have their own sort of Pride Month, like the straight guys, whatever. This is what it's sounding like. So she released this video. I'm going to just play a small portion of this video for you guys to see. Hold on one second. Let me...
To change their sexuality with the mind frame of an adult, and you're able to do that on your own. I don't have anything against you. I have gay family members, I have lesbian family members, as well as friends, and I will judge wrong people who make wrong choices. But when we're talking about these babies, we have to be very mindful about what they're being fed. Because if my niece comes to me and she say, "Auntie, I want to be a boy," and I'm like, Nicki, because I was watching the show with Sasa, and boys are very strong. They know how to shoot basketballs. They win when it comes to like tussling and fights. I'm like, well, you don't have to be a boy for that. And I can explain that to her that she may be confused about. But if she's telling me I think that I'm a boy, and she still feels that after she so confused, I'm not going to label her insane. I'm going to listen to her, take heed, and support her. But we're talking about making children feel like they can make a choice of changing their genitals before they even go to puberty. You don't even know who you are or what you like. Young women are talking about BBLs and things like that before their breasts and their buttocks are even fully developed. So we're very sensitive and mindful when we're dealing with our children. We are not talking about grown people who can make the choice to do and be whatever they choose to do and be. We're talking about children who may even look at us later on and say, "Well, why did you let me do that?" And it's like, I wanted to be a support of you. I wanted to let you do what made you happy. Well, I was not. How the hell do I know what's going to make me happy at 9 years old? So now why exactly for big hate in your
okay. Before I share my thoughts, for those that are just joining us, TikTok, head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, or you can watch us on the Kempire Radio Network Facebook fan page or the Kempire Facebook fan page. And those that are already in our chat room here on TikTok and on YouTube and Facebook, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out when we go live. Before I share my opinion, I'm going to bring Kyle back. Kyle, what are your thoughts on this whole Little Mama fiasco that's happening?
Has no place in it at all. Lil Mama hadn't had a hit song in about 10 years.
But what does that have to do with what she's saying, though?
Because she has no place.
I need you to elaborate, Kyle. When you say she has no place, what does that mean? All right, we lost Kyle again. I'm going to share my thoughts on this whole Little Mama situation because Little Mama is not the only person to say these things. But before I get into that, JACKEE Harry weighed in on this particular situation. And this is why it caused the beef between the two women, because Little Mama did not like what JACKEE Harry had to say in regards to that. And she reposted it on her social media. I remember seeing JACKEE Harry's comment. She didn't tag Little Mama in it. She just posted on her Twitter, lip gloss was never really popping. I love JACKEE Harry on social media. Does anyone else follow JACKEE Harry on social media? She's very funny. So after that, JACKEE also posted on her social media, be true to yourself. You are made perfectly. I love you for who you truly are. So no one really knew what she was talking about, but we all knew. Look, we all knew what she was talking about. Let me just show you just the tweets because Little Mama decided to post this in her story and just use a memoji. And then, of course, I'm not going to read what's there. You guys can read it on your own. Look, the disrespect for JACKEE Harry did not end there. The disrespect for JACKEE Harry did not end there. She then decided to come at. She is so disrespectful. Someone needs to wash her mouth out, Lil Mama. She said this in another Instagram post. She said, thought you was a sister, more like Sister Act. That's the problem now. These new young girls don't respect y'all old bitches. Why? Because y'all don't reach out and provide genuine counsel. You play these internet childish games and end up in a childish mix. Where are our role models? Because I'm tired of y'all old Hollywood BS. Kiss my ass, JACKEE. First of all, her name is JACKEE with 2 E's. Look, I love JACKEE, and I love the fact that she was trying to defend the LGBTQIA plus community. I love that. At the same time, I do think she could have reached out to Lil Mama if she really wanted to and provided some guidance if she wanted to. But of course, she was being funny. I think she was being funny on one side of things, and at the other side of things, she was like, "Don't y'all worry, I still support you guys." The other side of things, in regards to Little Mama's statements, I can see where Little Mama was trying to go with what she's saying. But one thing that people that make comments about children, the transgender community, or even the LGBTQIA plus community, there's a lot of assumptions. I don't understand why Little Mama feels like she knows what's going on with a child's genitals, private areas. I don't understand why she thinks automatically that children are having gender. Let me get my term. Gender affirming surgeries at young ages. Who told her this? And does she not understand before they're even reach that point, and if they're going to even share that information with you, they have to go through multiple mental evaluations before they can even do anything like that. And I had to do a little research because, look, I'm not transgender. So I was like, but I have some knowledge in that regard. And I was like, okay, I went on Aetna's website and they have the policy requirements for gender affirming surgery. That's exactly what it's called, if you're wondering. So this is what Aetna's website says. Other policy companies might be a little bit different, but I've always heard this. You don't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to change my sex," and that can happen overnight. In some other countries, maybe. I don't know. Not in the United States. According to Aetna's policy, you know what? Let me look. Let me show you what I'm looking at, because I don't want y'all to think I'm making this up. Okay. Here we go. So according to Aetna, and this is their policy, like I said, it might vary from insurance to insurance, but this is what they're saying. Aetna considers gender-affirming surgery medically necessary when all of the following criteria are met. One, for breast removal. So they have different areas here. But look at the first thing that they have listed under breast removal. Single letter of referral from a qualified mental health professional. And then, and it's not just that simple either. There are multiple things that you have to go through before this can happen. But then B, persistent, well-documented gender dysphoria. Look, I'm not going to get into all the terms, but it's not, you don't wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to have, gender affirming surgery. There's a process. And part of that process is a psychological evaluation. You're meeting with a health expert about these things. But the bigger issue for me is like, why are you so concerned about what people are doing with their bodies or how people are parenting their children? Like, that's my issue. And my other biggest issue is that you're assuming that because they are identifying, it has something to do with their genitals. Because I'll tell you this, not everyone that decides to transition necessarily has gender-affirming surgeries. Keep that in mind. Hold on. Let me just see what everyone's saying. Here what Heather McDonald says. They don't do that surgery on young children, but I am not totally aware. But I watched I Am Jazz, and she was 16 or 17 before she could have the surgery. It was years in the transition. Thank you, Heather. I never watched I Am Jazz. I am familiar with that reality show. It's such an important reality show. I really should have watched it, but I know a lot of people did because it's been on for quite some time. But it's not this overnight conversation. At the same time, in defense of Little Mama, I don't believe in bullying her to understanding where people are coming from. That's a problem that we have all around in this culture, is that we bully people in trying to believe what we believe. No, let's have a conversation. Little Mama should have a conversation with families that have children that are transitioning. You should speak to other transgender people in regards to their transition. It's not just about genitals. And that's the biggest issue for me, is that she's making this about genitals. She's making this about just the physical. And like I said, I don't want to speak for people that are transgender because I'm not. And I think it would come better from their point of view. But I'm always sick and tired of people assuming that it's just about genitals, if at all. So and this is part of the reason why I wanted to make sure that we were discussing this topic tonight, because I'm just like, Little Mama, like, I get what you're trying to get at, but you're not getting there. You're not getting there. Heather says, I can disagree without bullying. She needs to talk to people who know. I agree. Sorry, I know what you meant. She meant sorry without bullying. Yes, I understand, Heather. Thank you so much. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here and having this conversation. I decided I wanted to come live and talk about this hot topic just because it's been on my mind. I wanted to talk about the Nicki Minaj story. If you missed that, you can watch the replay. But as I'm showing you here on the Aetna's website, this is not just some simple, situation where you can wake up one day and say, Mom, Dad, I want to be, a boy or a girl. There's a process. And I wish we did have more shows like I Am Jazz so that people could understand that. But I just feel like, yes, you have a platform. Yet now you want to start a whole heterosexual rights movement. No, girl, you need to speak to people that you're talking about, because you're making a lot of assumptions about what families are deciding. First of all, she's questioning people's parenting. And I would never sit here and question someone's parenting unless it's my child. And then I wouldn't want anyone questioning my parenting. And as I said before, everything she's been saying, I'm like, girl, all it takes is Google. What is the gender affirming process? What is the transitioning process? You could go to YouTube. You could go to your television and watch I Am Jazz. What is this process? Let me educate myself more so I have an understanding. And I'm not sitting here saying on a soapbox saying that I have a full understanding. But I did Google this today, right before this live, just as like, because I was like, I know pretty much that it's not cut and dry. You have to go through psychological evaluations. There's a whole transition process. And then I found Aetna's website, and Aetna's like, this is what you have to go through. And if you look at D, it says for members less than 18 years of age, completion of 1 year of testosterone and treatment. And if significant medical or mental health concerns are present, they must be reasonably well controlled. So this is not something you can just wake up and it's done. And I'm sure families already are having their own challenges with trying to support their children. So when celebrities with huge platforms talk the way that you do, you have no idea how big of an effect that has on children and what other children around those kids that are going through this process or going through this transition, how they will be treated. Like, I don't think she thinks about that. Sometimes I just need you to shut up. I'm sorry. Sometimes just or ask the questions. I'm not sitting here trying to bully you. I would love for you to have a conversation, not with me because I'm not an expert. Have conversations with the families that are going through this, because I think that aspect is important, because that's what she's talking about. She's saying that children should not be allowed to make changes to their bodies in this way. Again, as I said before, if you're just joining us, that's assuming that they're going to do anything like that. Gender identification could be just that, not necessarily, oh, I'm going to do this or that to my body. You're making it about physical. Let me see what everyone else is saying in here. I'm sorry, I'm going off. Heather says, I would love to see Jazz address her respectfully, of course. I would love to see, but I won't put that on Jazz. Whoever wants to address her, because you know what? Just because you have gone through this process doesn't mean that you have to be a spokesperson. I know Jazz has a reality show, so I'm sure she's not, she's fine with doing that, but Ronald Ray says, to your point, when D Wade's situation happened, people were all up in arms thinking he was going to have something done to his child, and that was not ever done. His family simply was accepting his child. That's a really great point. Thank you, Ronald, for making that, because I remember thinking the same thing when people were just giving so much backlash to Dwayne Wade in regards to his daughter. Look, how does that affect you guys? Like, how does that affect you? How does that affect what goes on in your life, in your family? And the big thing, as I said before, with this whole little mama situation, everyone's assuming that all of a sudden, oh yeah, the child is going to, do this to their bodies and blah, blah, blah. You're assuming and that already shows me that you're ignorant, that you didn't even do a simple Google search. Just saying. What is Data saying? She thinks it's easy as walking up and deciding to buy ice cream. And that in this day and age, if this was like 5 years ago, and I'll give you that much time, then I would have been like, okay, but girl, Google is your friend. Please use it. Please use it. Let me see. Heather says, oh yes, that was the only one I know, but any person who has been through this would be good. I think there's so many advocates, and I also get it too. Some people do not want to have these conversations with people like Lil Mama, because like I said before, it was a simple Google search. I was like, what is the process again? I just wanted to make sure that when I came on here, I knew what I was talking about on some level. And as I said to you before, this is just Aetna's policy. I'm sure policies, because American healthcare differ from policy to policy, but Aetna's policy alone is already telling you what they require. And part of that requirement is mental health evaluation before you can even start that process. I'm off my soapbox. I want to see what you guys are saying. I'm not sure if Cher's daughter's son, Chaz, has had the surgery, but Cher has accepted it so well. And I knew it, and that was probably like one of the very more public stories that we know of. And And I believe Chaz Bono said that his mom, it wasn't like a snap, like, oh, she's cool. I think it was a process. And I get that. For the families, it's very different. If it's not within your own family, we don't know what that process is like. I would love to see what Chaz would say about this particular situation. But that's just my thoughts. Look, that's just my thoughts. I appreciate everyone's feedback in the chat. I just decided to go live at last minute because I wanted to talk about the Nicki Minaj story, and I wanted to talk about this Little Mama story, because normally I wouldn't even talk about Little Mama. What's Little Mama been up to? What she's been up to? And I'm not even trying to shade her, but I'm just a little bit like, this is what you come back in the news for? This is not a good thing. This is not a good thing. And the whole defense that she has, that she has LGBTQ plus people in her family. That's very similar to when people say, "Oh, I have a black friend." Girl, you know how many people that can say that I am in their family, but they still may not agree with my lifestyle? That's not a selling point. That didn't make me believe you. Anyways, I just want to get, for those that are watching me on YouTube or on Facebook, please be sure to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out when we go live or when we upload. I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat that participated in this conversation, and to Kyle that called in. I know you were trying to get a message across. Not sure where you were going with that, but I appreciate you calling in and supporting. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to my TikTok fam. I appreciate you guys being here. And again, don't forget to hit like and hit the notification bell so you never miss out when we go live or when we upload. I'll see you guys. You never know. Maybe in a couple of hours, maybe tomorrow. You never know. Have a good night.